Live. It's like you're sitting there waiting on your air to let out. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. And
Uh,
sometimes it's like instant, and other times it's like 5 seconds, but it feels like 5 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. It is May the 11th at 8:20 a.m. in Alabama.
Yes.
How's everybody doing?
How's everybody doing? I want to know how many of you guys got to see the Northern Lights last night.
You just jumped into it,
I
didn't you?
did, because that is just. I saw somebody comment on my little video I posted that it happens every 20 years, but I can't ever remember it.
No, but technology wasn't here 20 years
Well,
ago.
we didn't have social media and all
That's
that.
what I meant.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not we didn't have technology, but we didn't have the ways of passing it along that we do now.
I'm gonna be honest. So we had a lot of you guys send us emails and messages about it, saying, "Hey, the Northern Lights could be down your way." Hey, and you know what I thought? It ain't gonna happen here.
Well, I thought that too.
Ain't gonna happen here. We get worked up with this stuff, and it just never here. We just never see it. And then me and Mary Carl was watching TV. Got through watching TV, and I was actually up here doing some stuff. And she comes in and says, "Daddy, you got to come outside." And I thought, oh goodness. And you know what I thought? It's a new bird whistling outside at night.
Oh goodness. Well, that's a good thought.
That's what it was.
That's a good thought.
Oh, I thought, oh, we got a new bird out here. And lo and behold, it was just purple. It was cool. It was cool. It looked like, from the naked eye, it looked like a carnivore fair was going on off in the distance. Carnival was going off in the distance, but when you took a picture of it, it filtered everything out and it looked spectacular. But it was pretty cool.
Well, I have done something to my leg. I have what I think is a pulled muscle up in the top of my leg. So I was in the bed, and I had turned my phone off. I had turned my watch off. And Mary Carl came in and she showed me her picture that she had taken. Well, I then realized that two people had texted me and told me about it. And that was Angie over at Big Family Small Farm, Big Family Matters.
Isn't that beautiful?
And Catherine at G&G. And I did not respond because I was kind of woken up from a dead sleep.
So it was pretty cool. It was really, really cool. I'm telling you, if it wouldn't have been for Mary Carl, I would have missed it.
Well, I didn't think we were going to see anything, honestly.
I didn't either. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Well, will we be able to see it again tonight? It's some kind of solar storm that's causing this.
I'm not quite for sure.
And they said it could be some internet interruptions. I forget what else it was. Some other kind of problems that could occur because of this.
Laura said, simply making it, James Spann, who's the big weatherman here in the state of Alabama, everybody knows James Spann, said that this is the biggest one since 1859. I think that's what it says. Her thing's gone.
We weren't here then.
They said unlikely to see it tonight, G&G said. Yeah, it was pretty spectacular. It was pretty cool. And then, so I posted my little video, and then everybody started posting their pictures. And I'm telling you, I think I commented on every single one.
So was it all over the United States?
Yeah, even in the UK. I had some people in the UK send me pictures.
Really?
Yes, it was so cool. Some were green.
Huh.
And then some were almost red. It was just cool to see all the different pictures that were being sent to us on my little post. It was really cool. It was really, really cool.
Amazing happening.
Somebody said we might be able to see it again tonight.
Well, so I guess it might depend on. I thought we might be able to see it again tonight from what I'd read.
Right.
I don't know. I guess
it was cool. It was really, really cool. But yeah.
Well, I didn't think we'd be able to see it. I really didn't. I thought this was just hype that.
Right.
And I'm so glad that Mary Carl did go outside and take a peek.
Amy said it is happening right now in Australia.
Right now.
That's too cool.
I've always had a desire to go and see them
Yeah.
where they are all the time. But it's different when it's out your back
Yeah, it
door.
is. It was really cool. It was really, really cool. So the ones that couldn't see it because of weather, maybe they can see it tonight.
Maybe.
Or the ones that were like us that said we're not gonna see anything.
They didn't go
They
outside.
go outside.
Or they were like me, they were asleep.
Yeah.
And they just saw the pictures.
Right.
Oh goodness.
Oh man. So I already see a lot of people asking about Nugget. Nugget is A-okay. He is fine. Everything's fine. I guess most of you, if you're watching live, you saw the video where we pulled the eggs. But everything is A-okay with Nugget, and all the eggs were completely rotten. Pure liquid.
Well, y'all, I have been doing some reading, because it's getting close to the time for the eggs to hatch. Was getting time.
Yeah.
And I read that you should be hearing a lot of activity, and you should see the eggs rocking and rolling by day 40.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was day 44, and I told Jason, I said, let's see if Catherine's got a stethoscope, because she's a retired nurse. So I reached out to Catherine, and she did. And I thought, well, I first thought that we would just check them ourselves, without showing them on video, and just check them and know for ourselves how many might hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we decided it's not fair for just us to know. So we thought, well, we'd add a camera, and film it to know how many there's going to be.
Right.
I have never felt so much just sadness for a bird in my life. Y'all, he was completely exhausted.
He is. You can feel his backbone is sticking up because he's,
But that had nothing to do with the reason we did it.
It didn't. I mean,
we would have let nature take its course.
We would have.
But
it was crazy to let him sit there another 2 to 3 weeks on eggs that we're going to pull and discard anyways.
Y'all, underneath
the flies were starting to come in. It was bad, and the smell was really, really bad.
And there were ants starting to come around him, and he would not have gotten up.
He would not. He would never gotten up.
He would not have gotten up.
Yep.
So what would have happened is it would have endangered his life to leave him sitting there on eggs that were completely disgusting.
Yeah.
I probably still have a little stench on my hand. Because I wasn't expecting it. So we didn't take any gloves or anything over there.
We weren't expecting it at all. And I am thankful for this. The eggs were rotten and they smelled bad, but it did not smell like a chicken rotten egg.
It didn't.
Thank goodness. I explained in the video what I thought. It smelled like a fishing boat like your deep sea fishing, that shrimp bait smell.
It was not overpowering. Totally it was something that doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lingering smell, but it was not like a rotten egg smell. They were rotten.
Oh, they were totally rotten.
There was nothing but liquid inside every one of them.
As I took them to way on the other side of the property, when I was picking them up, and I wish I'd have filmed it, but I didn't. But you could do like this, and it was just like a water bottle,
just slosh.
Mm-hmm. And we don't know what happened. We have no idea, because some look like Pepto-Bismol and some look like green pea soup. And, we're thinking the Pepto-Bismol were fertile.
Yeah.
And the green pea soup ones were not.
Right. I think they mated. I mean, we didn't physically see it.
Yeah.
I think some of them were fertile and they did not develop for whatever reason, because there was a little tinge of, bloody mess. That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But in some of them,
mm-hmm.
and that would be an indication that they tried to develop.
And I had somebody send me an email or a message saying that the ones that were pink were fertile. Who knows?
It didn't work out. And we're not ratite scientists, so we don't know all the what ifs about it.
Yep.
We did have some cold temperatures before he started sitting.
We did, and we had several people reach out and say that they thought that could have been what it was, because we had some crazy cold weather there, and that may have done it.
I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
There's never going to be a definitive answer as to what happened, but they like each other.
Yep.
They like each other, and they, they're carrying on beside each other.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Back together again.
They're doing good. Everybody's doing good. So,
my thoughts are, I hope she doesn't think that she can lay another clutch.
I'm telling y'all, and I may change my mind when it happens, but if she starts laying again, I really are going to be tempted to pull.
If she starts laying again this year, I think that's
absolutely
a definite,
this year.
Yes,
we're going to pull them 100%. We're going to pull them, and if it happens next year,
you'll have to make that decision.
I'll have to make that decision, but I'm leaning towards pulling them. I really am, and maybe try to incubate some or something.
Yeah, it was worrisome for us, even though it was nature and nature was taking its course. I mean, Nugget's he's one of the good guys, and
he is, and we go out there every day, and there's some days you go over there to check on him, and you don't see any movement for like 5 seconds.
It'll make your heart
stop.
Skip a beat.
Yeah. And so I just don't want to go through that again. And like I said, we may change our mind next year, whatever. But right now, I'm leaning towards not.
We will see.
Yeah.
We will see. We may change our mind by next year, and and it may depend on if we were to see some activity between the two of them.
Yeah.
To know that they like each other that well, and the eggs are going to be fertile, then it would be a different situation.
That's right.
But definitely, if she lays another clutch this year, we will take action.
Yeah.
He can't sit again now.
Yeah, absolutely. No way. So that was one elephant in the room. There's another one.
What?
And there's my hair.
Oh, it's gone.
It's coming up. Okay, so I did get a haircut yesterday. I did. And it didn't turn out exactly like I wanted it to. But it's still okay. It's still long. We're still long.
You have your widow's peak.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It kind of got wet. You got a hat head.
Anyways, but the back. So I told her to cut 2 inches off, and I thought that would leave some in the back, but it didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't. So
that made it worse.
Oh. So I think next time I'll say just maybe
trim it up.
Well, I didn't like it. It was getting too long in the front. And maybe I'll tell her to leave a little bit in the back next time.
Well,
maybe it'll grow back. It's super fast.
Well, that was the thing, is we were sitting there waiting on her to finish with her customer in the chair. And Jason looks at me and he said, "You think 2 or 3 inches?" And I said, "I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't know that you can tell her 2 inches and it, come out the way you want it to." And he said, "Okay, I'm just going to tell her 2 inches and see what happens."
She did say, now when I cut the 2 inches off on the back, it's going to shorten it up a good bit on the back. And I still thought it would be a little bit back there, but it's okay. It's okay. It'll grow back.
It will grow back.
It'll be fast, y'all. In 4 weeks, it'll be
back to where it was. And that's the thing about Jason's hair, is it's constantly. My hair doesn't grow nearly as fast as yours does.
Oh gosh, mine's so fast.
It is crazy fast.
It is so fast.
So that was the other elephant in the room.
That was the other one was Nugget, because a lot of people were asking about Nugget, and everybody could see I had my hair cut, so it was the haircut.
They didn't see it flying out, did they?
They see it flying out. See it flying out in the back.
How is Capri? Capri is doing very well.
Oh yeah,
she is nursing the 2 babies all by herself. No bottle feeding needed. Her udders are even, and all is well. So those 2 baby girls, I must say, are much bigger than the triplets.
Yes.
Although they're not together yet. They're
not together yet. But
you can just tell. I mean, they look like full-grown kids.
They're big goats.
They are big compared to the littles.
They're big goats, and Fifi's doing well. And y'all, I know I posted a short or reel yesterday. I'm gonna do it for YouTube this morning. But the little goats, the triplets. I'll call them the triplets.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all, them things are full-fledged baby goats now.
They are absolutely crazy.
They are everywhere.
They everywhere's to stay. Jason and I just sat down in the barn floor yesterday and after the babies had eaten their bottles, because we do take them out of the stall when we feed them. Well, Fifi, she acts like she needs a bottle too, so that's one reason we take them out when we feed them.
Yeah.
So we take all 3 of them out when we're feeding them. And by the way, I fed all 3 of them this morning, and I figured out how to put the bottle up under my arm and hold 2 others. So all 3 ate at one time.
So you can do all 3 at one time.
Today I did. I don't know if if you're available and can help me, I'd rather have a hand.
I gotta get that on camera.
I made it work today.
Oh goodness!
But we just sat down on the floor and let them all just run around, and
they are silly.
Yes, they are to the age where it's quite comical.
Last night was funny because we had Holly in there, we had Dee Dee in there, and of course the cats. And there's the baby goats are super curious of everybody, but also they're still scared.
Yeah.
So they want to go see Holly. So it's like run and see Holly, and Holly looks, and it's like, oh goodness, and then run and run back away. And yeah, it was
we want them to not be scared of dogs and not be scared of cats, because one thing that Fifi and Capri have a problem with is both of those things. Neither one of them can stand cats, and they do not want any dogs near.
They're not scared.
Oh, they're not scared of them. No, they try to eliminate their life.
Oh, and this is one. No baby goats are around.
No baby goats.
This is just in general.
We know to not let them around cats or dogs.
Well, the cats are pretty quick.
Yeah,
the cats are out there with them all the time, and so the cats have learned to stay away from those 2 for sure. But yeah, they do not like dogs or cats.
They do not like them. And poor Dee Dee, she loves to be where I am.
Yeah.
And I have to get her out of the barn when it's time to bring the goats in the milking room, because if they see her, they're gonna make sure she finds the exit real quick.
Real quick.
Meaning Fifi and Capri.
Super quick.
So it's quite a challenge to make sure Dee Dee's not in the barn.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what made them so.
They're very protective.
But not even when babies were around. They did that.
Very, very protective.
So we respect that, and we know that's probably not going to change at this point in their career.
Right.
We will call it in their career. They've decided they don't like them, and that's that.
Oh goodness.
But we can do something about the babies, and that's why we're exposing them to babies, to dogs.
Right.
And of course, Holly's not going to do anything.
Oh no.
And neither will Dee Dee. Dee Dee, she has to be beside me. And Dee Dee thinks when I have bottles, it's the best day ever.
Yeah, she tries to get her son.
She loves the taste of the milk. So
she does.
She's right there beside me when I'm feeding babies.
Yep.
And that's one reason we're a little bit late this morning is, I have to take care of them first. Babies.
First thing.
And
you feed them 3 times a day, right?
3 times a day.
Morning, lunch, and dinner.
Yes. And they are probably getting them a drink in between, because I can't always know how much they're going to take.
Right.
So I fill their bottle up with 12 ounces, and you might have one that's only going to take 7, and that baby's snuck a drink.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Right. Yeah,
that's what I want them to do. I want that udder to get down to a manageable size where they can nurse.
And it seems like to me, old Red doesn't drink near as much of the bottle, because I think he's the bigger of the 3.
And so he gets that.
And I think he gets the mama's milk, because he is still, he's bigger than the other 2. So he's getting something. And he should drink the most, because he's the biggest. But I think since he's the boss, he's bigger, so he kind of maybe pushes the other ones out of the way and gets more of the mama's milk.
Well, he's the one that I put it under my arm first, the bottle, and I had my hand, other 2. So he started on the one under my arm.
Right.
And he didn't drink all of his this morning. So anyway.
So I see a lot of people asking about the milking machine. Did you get a milking machine? And milking machine came in, and we're going to use it this morning.
That's right.
And so that'll be your video tomorrow.
We're going to give it a shot this morning. I'm so thankful. I said it. I expressed it to Catherine at G&G for bringing her machine over, because had I ordered one that was just a milking machine, it wouldn't have worked.
That's right.
Because her goats are Nigerian dwarfs, where their little teats are much smaller than a Nubian. And with my goats being so engorged, it's the milk cups that on the new one are much bigger. Hopefully it'll be able to create a suction enough to latch on and give Fifi some relief.
Yep.
And now we will not milk that hard udder.
No.
That's
done.
Done.
Yeah.
Dr. D said just leave it alone. It's not producing any milk. It's just full of scar tissue, and there's no need to try to soften it. It's just call that over. It
is what it is. And there was some confusion about when we said we were retiring Fifi in the Capri video. I think people got confused with the names.
I think so too.
And they were wanting to know why are we retiring
Capri when she had no problems.
When she had no problems and she can nurse the babies. And I think we were showing Capri and we were talking about Fifi, and people got confused. So we're not retiring Capri, the black and white goat. We're retiring Fifi, the white and
brown,
kind of faded red brown goat.
That's right. It's totally for her benefit. You know, we don't want to take a chance of. Well, she's had 2 complicated births, and the next time may not end so well. And then the fact that she can't nurse.
The jet.
It was a jet. That her udder is so large on that one side.
Right.
Now, Dr. D did say that, in his opinion, you shouldn't not breed her offspring thinking that they were going to end up with an udder like Fifi's.
Correct.
He said that is bogus in his opinion. He said that, it's something that happened to Fifi, and he does not think it's anything genetic that will be passed on to her offspring.
Right.
So he said to keep little Laura from being bred, in his opinion, is nonsense.
He also made the comment that he doesn't like breeding for perfection.
Right.
So he didn't go into detail about that, but that's just what he said. I don't like when you breed for perfection. So I don't know exactly. So he was just saying, don't not breed her. If you or somebody,
if you come out with a defect, so to speak, it doesn't mean that animal is a no-gooder.
Right.
That's right. That was Southern slang. All.
You know what? You're turning into a wordsmith.
I am, aren't I?
You are turning. So I want to tell you something about the wordsmith. So y'all know that I call myself a wordsmith, but
coffee's good.
I reached an achievement, and I got a reward from Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want y'all to see it here now. It says, achievements. See all the badges you have earned growing your presence on Facebook. And I circled one, and this is proof right here. If y'all see this right there. See that right there?
What's circled?
I got the Wordsmith Achievement Award from Facebook.
What?
So, Facebook recognized it right there.
Jason.
Wordsmith.
Why did they send that? Is that a joke?
No, look.
Lester made that, didn't he?
No. This is on it. I got all these levels and Explorer, Wordsmith, and Director. And
what does that mean?
I have reached.
Gee whiz.
I think I may send them a message and tell them they may ought to send me a plaque.
A plaque for your Wordsmith achievement.
For my Wordsmith achievement on Facebook.
And y'all know where that plaque would go?
Right here.
Where everybody could see it.
Right there. Right there. I mean, Facebook knows a wordsmith when they see one.
That's very odd.
Yeah, it ain't odd. I don't think it's odd.
Jason. Jeez, weird.
I don't think it's odd at all.
Oh, of course you don't.
I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, Facebook's a big ordeal. I mean, how big? That's a multi-billion-dollar outfit.
And you haven't told me anything about this accomplishment
Oh,
until just
I
now.
just found it. I was on the back end, on the analytics side of our Facebook page, and it says your achievements. I said, look at here. I wonder what kind of achievements I have accomplished on my Facebook page. And I clicked on it. And lo and behold, dead front and center was Wordsmith. So I took a screenshot because I knew if I just said it, people wouldn't believe it.
You better be glad you took a screenshot of it.
But you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Congratulations, Mr. Wordsmith.
I'm just saying.
Now you are worthy of your own t-shirt, Mr. Wordsmith.
That is, I had to write that down.
Yeah. I
had to write
that
down.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
I probably could have that.
Yeah, probably need to have that screenshot.
Printed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
That would be a good idea.
The coffee is good this morning.
It is very good.
It's good every morning. Y'all ever do that? I do it all the time. So we make the coffee, and you sound like you do it the same way every single time. But every now and then, you just do something that hits it just perfect. And it makes it to where you just, that coffee was just on point this morning. Either I put, I try to put the same exact scoops in there, but I don't. But how is it that I don't measure it like weight and take a knife and slide it off the top of the scooper or anything like that? So I'm thinking that 1 out of 20 times you get the exact amount of everything you need, grounds to the T. Well, right. Today I must say, we were running behind, and so I grabbed a cup and I fixed my own coffee. You did? I fixed my own coffee. Jason thought that I had fixed his. He was holding his hand out for me to hand him his, and I didn't know exactly how he wanted his fixed. But here I am, fixed my own coffee. Yeah. You fixed your own, and it is on point. It is. It is. Maybe you hit the sugar just right. Something. Every now and then, it goes just like 2 notches over. And that's how you get a reward like Wordsmith Awards. Something happens. You just. Yep. Some people say they do it with their tea. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you do it with everything. Like I cooked some steaks this week in the air fryer. Yeah. And it just wasn't on point. Yeah. I just did something a little off, and that's kind of disappointing. But next time I do it, I might say, I hit that just right. You're right. You're right. Just did it. I guess that's right. With everything, spaghetti or tacos, everything. Or every now and then, it's just something is just a next level. But that's probably an indication that you're going to have a good day. I think so too. I bet you're right. When you start off with a cup of coffee that's just yeah. I bet you're right. Talking about a good day, I still can't find anything about this daggum car show downtown. No, I don't know. I think I'm going to send Clack a text. Well, there's supposed to be a old antique car show in downtown Clinton. Chestnut Hills isn't on here. They know everything. Yeah. They're like the Chilton County Advertiser or something. They think they know everything that goes on around here because they've grown up here. Well, but we, only been for 3 years, and we always kind of behind. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. Our haircut lady told us about this car show, and it's supposed to have. She said the last one had like 90 cars and food trucks and all that too. So, but I did Google the Cousin Spain Lobster and put in our zip code, and it's nothing in the schedule in our area. Huh. So I really would love to go to the car show. If you don't feel like it, I thought maybe Mary Carl would want to go. She might. I think she would. I think she likes I have a bad wheel. I'm telling you. I know, that's what I'm saying. I have done something to my leg, and it's going to go away. I'm just going to have to give it a little bit of time to heal. It's nothing to do with what's going on with my health. I have turned the wrong way or something. I hung up some lights on my mama's side porch yesterday, kind of part of her Mother's Day. And string lights. Yeah. And I was up and down on a ladder, screwing the screws in to string those lights. And I'm wondering if I came down sideways or something. Because I was okay. Or maybe tweaked it just a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
We went over to Millbrook,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama yesterday. Well, it was afternoon because their doors open at 4:30. It's a Catfish House, is what it is. They have different types of seafood, but catfish is their name.
Yeah.
Catfish House.
Yeah, which is extremely popular. I don't know how popular it is outside the South, but I think catfish is probably like salmon up north.
You think?
I think so. It's very popular, and there's one of the biggest catfish farms is very close by, a couple hours away.
So we their doors open at 4:30, and if you don't get there when their doors open, then you gonna not get seated for a while. So my point is I had hung the lights up earlier in the day. We went and ate at the Catfish House, and time I stepped out of the car when we got back home, I felt a little something in my leg, and I had not felt it before. So it just had to have its time to work. I don't know.
And probably sleeping and staying still. I think probably staying still probably tightens it up.
I kept telling Jason, I said, I feel like it needs to pop. That's what I would describe it as. It feels like a catch.
Yeah.
And I need to just pop it. And it never would pop. So now it doesn't feel like it needs to pop. It feels like it's just a muscle.
Tight.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Oh, it'll get better. It's just
maybe so.
Gotta have a rest. But I did buy a Boston butt from Mr. Greg that did all of our work, our dozier work here.
Is it their church doing or the community?
No, it's a softball team.
Oh, softball team.
We've bought one from them before, and they cook these Boston butts all night on the grill. And so we bought one of those that we got to pick up today.
I'm
excited. Not let me forget.
No, what time we got to be there?
Between 10 and 12. Between 10 and 12. So we're going to have some good eats today. We
can have sandwiches. I love barbecue.
It's never ending. And that was so good.
Last year.
It was like our coffee. It was just on point. See, that's the beginning of the good day. The coffee, then the Boston butt.
And then maybe the car show.
You don't ever know.
Never know.
Never ending.
Never ending.
But back to the Catfish House.
Yeah.
So this place is a little different than your typical restaurants because what they do is they bring you a bucket. It's a galvanized bucket full of hush puppies. And these are not your typical hush puppies.
Oh, they're good.
They're about that big around.
They're
just
really
the
good.
Correct size to pop a bite size in your mouth.
They're really good.
So they bring everybody those and put it on the table. Not only that, they bring slaw for the whole table to share.
And I love their slaw.
And they bring, they're
cowboy beans is what I call them, but I'm not sure what they are.
I think that's what they call them, is cowboy beans. But they're pinto beans is what they are. And they're seasoned up just right. Just right. It's so good. And
it's all that's all you can eat.
They'll bring you that as many times as you need a refill.
It's like Texas Roadhouse Grill is with the rolls.
Yeah.
But they bring it to you all. I mean, you run out, they're gonna come back and give you some more.
Then Michael say, "Where is this place?"
I thought Michael knew about the Catfish House in Millbrook.
Catfish House in Millbrook.
It's right past the Fantail, Michael.
Right past Fantail on the opposite side of the road.
What used to be the Fantail. It's not the Fantail.
Yeah, it's not.
The Fantail. People around here in this area know the Fantail too. It was all you can eat seafood, and it was huge around here. But I guess 4 or 5 years ago, I think they sold it, and then they changed it up. Now they even changed the name, so it's not a buffet anymore. But
I don't know what it's called now. But they're like open for lunch and dinner now.
What is a Boston butt? It is. It's not really a butt. I don't know. I forget why they call it a Boston butt, but it's basically a pork roast.
There's chestnut heels,
and that's it. And it's most of your shredded barbecue is basically a Boston butt most of the time. Chestnut heels. Do y'all know about the car show today downtown?
The car show.
Maybe they'll tell me.
The car show. You better be watching.
I'm interested in the car show.
You are interested in it.
I am. I just love a car. Speaking of, Donnie sent me a text late last night, and I was almost asleep. And they said he wanted me to call him, so remind me to do that when we
Okay.
get off here.
Okay.
Donnie's the Volkswagen mechanic.
Yeah, we're gonna get our Volkswagen
Yep.
going hopefully soon, and we'll be cruising on over to the Catfish House in a Volkswagen.
Right.
But y'all know we try to not eat fried foods very often, so
We do not.
That was a treat. And you know, when I was younger, I don't know what my problem was, but I would not eat catfish. There's chestnut.
I don't.
They don't know anything
But they
about
do
the car show.
have old car shows on the main block downtown periodically.
Okay.
Okay.
When I was little, I say little.
Or at Goose Pond.
Okay. When I was little, I say little, but up until I can remember your daddy and I, well, we took your daddy to Mac's Fish Camp. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, we did.
And he wanted some catfish. And so we took your daddy, and that was a place that sold just fish. That was it. It was in our old hometown. The place burned down. But I never would eat catfish, and it was just a thought that I knew that they ate off the bottom of the water.
Oh.
I knew that they ate the leftover stuff that falls on the bottom, and I never would eat it. But now I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah,
I realize now what I missed out on.
That's right. I saw some people asking about it. There it is right there. That's the Boston butt.
Well, I don't think we said it was pork. So that's another part of it. They can see that now.
Oh, yeah.
I always ate bass because my daddy fished a lot. So he would, bring home fish and fillet it and freeze it. And Mama cooked a lot of fish, but I would not eat catfish.
Boston butt is named after the barrels used to store it in called butts. So back in the day in colonial New England.
Where did the Boston come from?
Because it was in that area, the colonial New England. So it was in that region. Butchers would pack their less prized cuts of pork into barrels and ship them around. The shoulder cut became known as the New England specialty and eventually the Boston butt.
The Boston butt.
There we go. History lesson here on Live.
Well, even in our local grocery store at our old, where we used to shop, on that piece of meat, it said Boston butt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know I guess it probably says pork shoulder on other places.
Yeah.
Pork shoulder, maybe.
What is a hush puppy? Ooh.
Yes.
So, hush puppy is like cornbread. If you don't know hush puppies, you probably know what cornbread is, reckon?
Cornmeal.
But it's go ahead.
Cornmeal and milk. And some people add some corn, which the Catfish House does.
My daddy always added the corn.
And it's formed into a ball and fried in oil.
And seasoned. It's really good. Most of the time it's served with fish. And
everybody makes them a little bit different.
They do.
Everybody. I mean, there's add-ins galore. There's, different. You can use buttermilk instead of regular milk. No, it wasn't Piggly Wiggly. It was Dave's Market. It's an independently owned grocery store. But there's lots of different ways that you can make hush puppies. And
it is. Yeah, it's just like cornbread. Each family has their own way to do it.
That's right. Even Mary Carl likes hush puppies.
She does.
That's saying something.
She does. So I always dip mine in ketchup.
Uh-huh.
And Mary Carl, she's like, why do you do that, Daddy?
Ew.
So last night, guess what she did?
She dipped them in ketchup. And she said that not all hush puppies would be good in ketchup.
That's what she said.
But these are good in ketchup.
They are. They're so delicious, though. They are so good.
That's not something that I cook very often.
No, because we just don't eat that much fried food.
We don't.
We really don't.
And you would have to have enough oil heated up. They like it when I say oil. I've read that.
Oh, really?
They said it doesn't sound like O-I-L.
Oil.
O-L.
Right.
Oil.
Oil.
But I don't ever heat up enough grease to cook hush puppies.
These are one of the best ones.
They are.
And my daddy made really good ones. So these were very similar to the way my dad made them.
I don't ever remember eating your daddy's.
Yep. He did. He used to make them all the time. My daddy used to cook a lot of fish.
Yeah.
He used to do a lot of fish. He'd take that cast iron. He had a cast iron, what do you call it, pot?
A Dutch oven.
Yeah. And I don't know how old, I guess it had to be old. Anyways, probably my grandma's. And he had one of those, propane cookers. And in the
He cook it
backyard,
outside.
backyard, he'd put that on there and crank it up. And
it'd stink up your house, that's for sure.
It will stink up your house. And he would do hush puppies first and then the fish.
Yeah, because if you did the fish first, then your hush puppies would taste like
fish.
it.
Yep. It was good.
So
really, really, really good. I could eat my weight in hush puppies.
Well, you just about did last night.
I just about did. She brought us 2 helpings. And it's in
a metal bucket.
Like a galvanized tin bucket.
And so my mama's one that she's gonna take home anything that's left over.
Yeah.
She's not gonna let anything go to waste, which is fine.
Right.
But I just can't heat up a piece of fish later and eat it.
Especially fried fish.
I just can't do it. But she can.
She can.
So she packed up everything that was left. And we got tickled last night. I told Mary Carl when she showed me the picture of the Northern Lights, I said, do you think Nana ate her leftovers yet?
She probably did.
She probably did because it was good.
Yep.
It was good.
Usually I don't have leftovers. Usually I eat everything on my plate.
Well, she didn't take anything off.
I will say this: the waitress came around. It was really good service too. The waitress came around and she said, "Y'all did good.
Y'all did good. Y'all did good."
Oh, that's pretty good when your waiter tells you did good.
That's right.
Oh man!
What did Michael say? Something about air fryer?
I don't know. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. Something. He'd have to text it to you. Text it to him, Michael. Man. Tell him something about the air fryer. Maybe it was about hush puppies.
They did. Nick and Zoe, they're gone too. The whole setup is you forget if you don't go there very often, which we don't. We go. This has probably been a couple of months since we've been.
And then before that, it probably been 8 years.
I mean, you literally could go down and get you a glass of sweet tea or water, whatever you drink, and just eat the
Well, I don't think they do that.
No, they wouldn't do that for you. But I mean, it is.
You can fill up on the sides.
And they're not stingy with your food when it comes out.
No, and it's not very expensive compared to.
It's really not. It is really Catfish House in Millbrook. It is very, very, very
reasonable.
Reasonable for what you get.
Yeah, for what you get, for sure.
Really good.
Somebody said, how's Nugget? We talked about that early on.
Nugget's good.
Nugget is good. Yep. If you're just joining us, I know a lot of questions are about that. Mm-hmm. Somebody said they laugh at us about our sweet tea.
Yeah. We went, this was many years ago. Mary Carl was a little bit thing. And I had won a trip through General Motors because I worked at the car dealership. And we won a trip to San Francisco, and they had all this stuff set up where you got to see Alcatraz and all this. But we took Mary Carl with us. And since we took Mary Carl with us, they wouldn't let us go on the trips because of liability, which we get it. But we still had a good time. We were on the trolley, the little trolley car. And, people were asking us, and this was, I think San Francisco's kind of bad now, but it was before the shift. And
nice, girl.
So we were on the trolley, and people were talking to us, and we told us where they're from. Because Mary Carl had pink cowboy boots on.
Yeah.
And they said, I don't know how tea came up, but they brought tea up. And they said, I bet y'all like sweet tea. We're like, yeah, we like sweet tea. We like sweet tea. And they're like, I can't stand it. I don't know how and where y'all drink it. And I was like, well,
they were from Canada.
Yeah, that's right. They were from Canada. And they were, they couldn't believe we liked sweet tea. But
they said that the thought of putting sugar in tea just didn't, that was not appropriate.
Yep.
It didn't sound very good. And they couldn't believe that we drank such a thing.
But that's what Mike said. What? Somebody said fried foods heat up great in your air fryer.
Well, I think Mama just eats it cold. And that makes it even worse to me to eat cold fish.
Yeah. Yeah. There are different levels of sweet tea too. You got over the top, which I can't stand. because my mom and dad made it, and it wasn't super sweet. It was kind of happy medium. And so I like it like that. I don't like it. The Catfish House sweet tea is pretty good, but
I had water, so I don't know how it was.
some of it is just.
Yeah, it's just to where you.
But some people like it like that. I mean, some people like it. To me, Milo sweet tea is pretty. No, you know what? Last few times I've had it, I didn't care for it.
Milo's makes an extra sweet tea.
Yeah.
For those that like that kind of thing. But I used to, back before we lived in the camper, I made tea every single day. We had tea with every meal.
Yeah.
And then we started living in the camper, and I did not use the oven very much because it would heat up that camper so bad. We did a lot of cooking outside, so it kind of quit. And we started buying Milo's tea. And from that point forward, we just kind of quit having tea in the house.
We did. We kind of got away from sweet tea. When we go out, we'll eat it, but eat it.
When we go out, we'll
drink it. We'll drink it. Or me and Mary Carl will.
I always drink water.
You always drink water because you sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get. If it's too sweet, when the waiter or waitress, I don't. Is it bad to say waitress now?
I have no idea.
Sometimes I don't want to get in trouble.
No, you're gonna get in trouble no matter what.
So when they come back, waiter or waitress,
you do half and half.
Y'all ask them to bring me some unsweet, and I'll mix it half and half.
Yeah, that always adjusts it out. When you have something too sweet.
A friend of mine, when I worked at the dealership, that was a rep.
Server.
Okay.
It's not a waitress. It's a server.
I don't want to make anybody mad. So, I gotta write that down because that is so I won't forget it. But he liked Arnold Palmer's, and it's called Arnold Palmer.
It's
it's half sweet tea,
half
lemonade. And I tried that one time, and I don't like it.
I hear a lot of people in restaurants order half lemonade, half tea.
I don't like it. I've
never drank it. It just doesn't appeal to me by thought.
Yeah.
That's the Mary Carl side of me.
Yeah.
I thinking of what something might taste like. You never know till you try it.
Yeah. I tried it after he had it one time, and it was just too sweet. Maybe it was too sweet. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Just a tangy taste, maybe? All right, what'd you write down?
And I would say that I would bet you that 99.9% of the servers in Alabama wouldn't care if you called them a waitress or a waiter.
They probably wouldn't.
It wouldn't bother them here in the least.
They probably wouldn't.
They'd probably say, I'm not a server.
I'm not a server. Yeah, they might get offended by being called a server.
Somebody said sun sweet tea, and y'all. So that's how my great grandma made it. And that is the best ever. So she would take it was a clear jug, like a clear glass jug like this. And it wasn't like you pour, it just had just a round hole in it. And so she would make it. And then she would put a piece of cheesecloth on top of it. And I don't know if she rubber banded it or what. And she would make several of these pictures, and she'd put them in the windowsill in her kitchen. Best ever tea you ever drank in your life.
What? Just put the tea bags in it and let it.
I don't remember, Brooke. I just remember the tea, the clear glass jug, the cheesecloth, and it's sitting up in the windowsill. But it was so good, so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can remember one time I bought the wrong size tea bags. That's a packaging that can be confusing.
Oh, it can be confusing.
Because I've got something on there.
You put the bags in the jar. So maybe that's what she did. I can't remember that part, but that's how she would make it. My great grandma.
Remember, I normally buy the family size tea bags and use one of those.
Yep.
But this time I had bought, it was a pod is what it was. And I guess it was made for like one of those drip, like a coffee maker, but a tea maker.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, it's all I got. And I got to make my tea for the dinner. And this was, we were married. Mary Carl was alive. And so I used this thing, and we all stayed up all night. Do you remember it? Because there was so much caffeine in it. And it never occurred to me that making making that tea with that pod was going to
Oh goodness.
increase the amount of caffeine.
Oh goodness.
You just don't think about that sort of thing.
Oh man.
But I had to throw it out because it was of no use. We couldn't have that
You
much
gotta have
that much caffeine.
And it's like, I guess it's like coffee. You get stuck on a certain brand of tea.
Oh yeah, sure. You're not gonna go by.
You're not gonna go from Lipton to Red Diamond.
That's right. You get.
Yeah, you get accustomed to it.
That's right.
But yeah, I remember great grandma's sun tea. It was delicious. But I don't know why Nanny and Granddaddy didn't make it. I guess because times change and you can make it, a lot faster. But so
well, she was probably, in the time when you had to put it on a fire, or either start the oven and it take a long time to heat up.
I guess
so it was easier to just put it in the sun and make it.
Good. It was so good. And she kept it in them jars. The big
jug.
She never put it in a pitcher that I remember.
She never put it in the refrigerator or anything?
Not that I remember. It's like you just pulled it out over there and just poured it in there.
Well, they probably drank it pretty quick.
I guess so.
Huh. Interesting.
Guess so.
Well,
makes me want to try it one day.
I was just thinking, I've got that thing that we put our well water in.
Yep.
I wouldn't know how long to wait, or it would be a mystery to try to make it that way. But we could try it.
We have to try it. Sun tea. I'll write that down. Sun tea.
You don't have to write it down. You're a wordsmith. You'll remember.
No, I'm not a memory smith. I'm a wordsmith.
Oh, y'all, we haven't found the piece for the drive shaft yet.
I haven't looked.
Well, we've looked, but
I haven't looked since the last live.
Not closely.
I want to go back down there and look.
I don't think it's down there.
I remember we bought Mary Carl a little kid's metal detector.
Yeah, I know right where it is.
All right, so I want to get it because it won't. It can't go, that far in the ground, penetrate and read. But on top of the stuff, I have used it in the past to find things before.
Really?
Yeah. And so I'm going to try this and Michael, and see if I can find it.
See if you can find it. Well, I know where it is. So
the grass went from nothing to 6 foot tall like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking it's in the tall grass. So I'm thinking.
Well, I don't know, but a lot of people were saying you put it in that cabinet in the
they got
bus.
Confused.
Well, y'all, this piece is way too big to go in any cabinet.
That was the trailer hitch. This is the drive shaft. It's about
it's off the screen big. And that's the mystery of it. I don't know how you can misplace something that big.
And it's black, so I think it's in the tall grass.
It's got to be somewhere nearby. It's not like you would have toted it a long way.
I think it's in the tall grass.
It's awkward. It's a little heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah, you say you know where the metal detector is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
Excuse me. I do know where the metal detector is, so maybe that will help you.
I'm going down there.
Well,
I may. Ooh.
When I go get to Boston Butt, then you can go look for the drive shaft.
Ooh. I got to tell everybody.
What?
Your honeysuckle jelly.
Oh, we got to go get it.
Go get one. I'll keep everybody else.
No, my leg hurts.
All right, you dance, and I'll go get your honeysuckle.
Okay, y'all.
In the refrigerator.
No, well, get that one off the unless you want to show it. You can get the one in the refrigerator. There's 4 jars on the counter. Okay, so on the last live, I talked to you guys about making the honeysuckle jelly. And at that point, all I had done was let the flour sit in water overnight. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out. So the next morning, I got up and looked at my recipe and strained the honeysuckle nectar that had been sitting in the water, in which it was a little tangy. And so I thought, this might not come out very good. So you put the honeysuckle nectar and you add half a lemon to it. Well, that's all fine and dandy. It made it a little bit tangier at that point. Did you get that? That's in the refrigerator? Well, then you add your pectin. So the pectin, stirred it around, then you add your sugar. And by that point, I started thinking, oh my goodness, this might not set up. But lo and behold, y'all, it turned out perfectly. I couldn't believe it. The next morning, I fixed Mary Carl some toast.
Yeah, see it? Kind of looks, it's like champagne color.
And she said that it was just like what we had bought.
Yeah.
It's half gone, isn't it?
Yeah, Mary Carl's been eating. I haven't had any.
She
Mary
ate
Carl-
half the jar.
Mary Carl's been eating the stew out of it.
I think I might better go get some more. She and I might better go get some more blooms before they're gone.
It's good.
Have you tasted it already?
Mm-hmm. I tasted it the other day.
But it turned out very well. So that means I will share the recipe with you.
Yes.
I will put it on the Facebook page, the one that I used. Of course, I did not make this recipe. I went with, somebody else's recipe.
Right.
But I will share the recipe. So if any of you guys want to make the honeysuckle jelly, it was very easy except for harvesting all the flowers and cutting the ends off of them. That was the hard part. Making the jelly was the easy part.
It was good. Oh, it was. It is. It is really good.
It is good. So
and it turned out like jelly. Look at that.
I'm very pleased with the outcome, and I told you guys that I wasn't going to share it unless I knew that it turned out.
That's right.
And it did turn out.
It is so good.
But, it's either make it now or make it never, because honeysuckle blooms don't last very long.
They don't.
And you may be in a region where you don't have access to them, but here they're everywhere. Everywhere. And it does say to use the yellow flowers.
Not the white ones.
Yeah, there's the white.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
Is it for the color, you reckon?
I don't know.
They're both the same thing.
But I will tell y'all that it said when you strained your nectar and you put it in your pot that it would be green.
Yeah.
And I showed y'all the picture on the last slide.
It was kind of
Mine
green.
wasn't green.
It was kind of greenish.
But it wasn't as green as theirs. Theirs was like green as grass.
Yeah.
But and then it said when you add the lemon, it'll turn back yellow. And of course, it was still yellow. But it's good. It turned out. So
I bet that is good.
What?
Corn on the cob jelly.
Corn on the cob?
Use the cobs because corn's so sweet.
Huh.
I bet that is good.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Well, I said I wasn't going to make any more of it, but I might end up having to make some more just to hold Mary Carl, and she'll help me. So it's not like I'll be doing it all on my own.
And we may video it.
Yeah, we may. It's an interesting process.
Yeah.
Just pulling the little stamen out of the end of the flower and cutting that green part off, letting it soak. It's just time consuming. Though.
It is time consuming, but
picking the flowers is the easy part. Just the cutting off of the end of, and you have to do that to allow the nectar to escape, because if you just put the flower in there, nothing's going to happen. The nectar is up in that little stamen part.
I'm very interested in this corn on the cob jelly, because corn season will be here before we know it, and we'll be getting fresh corn from the farmers market down the road.
Well, Catherine's growing corn, so we'll get her to give us the cobs when she gets it off the.
That's right. I wonder if my to ask
your granddaddy.
Is it granddaddy or daddy that had the corn, the cob? But it's the old.
I remember that.
That's
thing.
for field corn. It's not for corn you eat. It would be like for if you wanted to make grits and cornmeal. Just the shucker for that. You run your corn through it, and it pulls everything off. It's got to be dry too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
That's a different thing.
There's another one that they make to get fresh corn off the cob.
I got you. This wasn't it though. This one's got little teeth. It looks like this.
I got you.
On each side, and you run your corn through it. I like to have that.
Well, I must say I had my doubts when the jelly was doing its thing that it was ever going to turn out, but lo and behold, it did. It did, and it all set up. It says in the recipe that you can lay the jars on their side and let them seal that way. But I did the water bath method just because I wanted to be certain that they sealed. It was too much work to go into it for a jar not to go.
That's right.
And I could have put it in the refrigerator had it not popped, but
right.
They all sealed well. And
they did. That's one. satisfying sound if you do canning or jellies or whatever in there. You go,
Yep. But I took Mary Carl to Harrison Lake after is that where we went? After we finished that? And as I was walking out the door, I had just made the jelly.
mm-hmm.
As I was walking out the door, I heard it go.
I love that sound.
Somebody said, "Why does my leg hurt?" I don't know.
I don't know.
It's I did something.
Tweaked it some kind of way.
I did something to a muscle up in my hip joint. But I'm okay.
How was it? 5 jars, wasn't it?
It was 5 jars.
Yeah.
The recipe says it makes 4.5 pint jars. 4 pints and 1/2 pint, but I ended up with 5 pint jars.
Yep.
So that's a good bit. That's a good bit. Names on the baby goats.
Well, come up with a
we
name.
don't have any names.
I need to go down there and just sit down there with them for a little bit and get a feel.
Oh, so you're gonna name them?
And the names will come to me naturally.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, you do that.
I may do that day. I gotta clean out stalls and stuff today anyway. So I may.
You just let me know what you come up with.
I think I will.
The first thing we're gonna do is experiment with this milking machine. And we plan to do that for my video tomorrow and let you guys know if we can't get Fifi's udder down to a manageable size.
Yep.
She's still just, of course, I've been milking her down my hand, but it just does not get enough out. She can only stand for so long.
Right.
And she does very well. But I can only do this for so long, and she can only stand for so long. So hopefully this will allow her some comfort as we're getting that udder reduced. Right?
Right.
All right. So I'm going to go and pick up a Boston butt. And today is going to be a good day.
It is going to be a good Boston butt day.
How about Gidget? Gidget's fine.
Gidget's good. Somebody asked about, I missed it. I wanted to answer it. It goes by so fast.
You'll never find it.
I'll never find it.
You'll never
I'm
find
sorry.
it. Gidget's fine. Everybody's fine. We don't have any updates on everybody. I mean, Gidget's crazy. She lives in the house. She can't go outside and run loose because we may never see her again. Chances are she won't go anywhere, but the mama in me says she may.
Yep.
So Gidget she's either on a leash or she's in the backyard and in the house. Same with Arlo. So anyway.
That's right.
Well, we gotta go see what we can do with some goats.
Yep.
And stay tuned because tomorrow will be the telltale as to if it works. And happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
All of you moms out there.
Absolutely.
And grandmamas. And we all got here some kind of way. So
that's right.
Anyway, y'all have a good rest of your weekend. My cup's empty because I really, really enjoyed my coffee this morning.
Mine's empty now.
All right. Y'all be good.
You have a wonderful day.